Today on AI After 40.
In any walk of life, when you're staring at a blank page, when you're staring at an important task and you're feeling all alone, you're absolutely broke. Viva AI.
So my guest today, I've known for 43 years, literally for 43 years. We worked together on several occasions. He's been a boss, a mentor, a coach, and one of the smartest people I know. Holland Cooke, over a 50-plus year career, has been, among other things, a cable television news host, managed two different multimedia Washington, D.C. radio stations, 10,000 plus hours on the air himself. He is now one of the most in demand and one of the most respected consultants in the radio business, the intersection of talk radio and the internet. He's an entrepreneur. He's an author, as it turns out. And did I mention he's one of the smartest people I know? Holland Cooke, welcome to AI After 40.
You and I worked together so long ago that I had brown hair and you had hair.
Yes. Yes.
But times change, and that's why we're doing this, right?
That's true. Now, you are, as many of us older folks are, you're tech savvy. I mean, you've been around computers. I mean, heck, you were the one who introduced computers to the WTOP newsroom in 1987, I think it was. So you're no stranger to technology. How did you get started with AI?
It seems like the Flintstones when you think now. Back then, it was all we could do to get the VCR to stop flashing 12, 12, 12. But there was a different time. You and I first worked in a medium that was very analog and linear. Back to the future, things are digital and the users are in control. And what happened in the meantime is tech accelerated and Wall Street got greedy enough that radio has consolidated to the point where it is so strapped for cash that it's running on a skeleton crew, if that. It's using and abusing automation. And any creative solution to the aforementioned is going to be welcome. And what I love about what you're exploring and what I am dabbling with in AI is that all the versions of these tools I'm using are free. So given the need to understand these new tools, I dove in head first and prepared a piece for my clients about the free tools that broadcasters can use to keep pace. And much of the internet is free. And to dabble with this, I went on vacation last February. My wife and I were down in the Bahamas, and I had a James Patterson thriller, big, thick paperback book with these page-and-a-half chapters that keep you turning the pages. And I'm kind of a nonfiction guy, but when I got home, I said, this is how I'm going to take it out for a spin. So I wrote a novella, shorter than a novel, longer than a short story, with thinly veiled characters based on our own industry. I was sugarcoating the lesson by writing what became a trilogy of thriller novellas. And I've given you the link, which you can share with your viewers on this. So my first step into AI was fiction. And before this, the last time I wrote fiction was for a high school homework project. So I found this a very easy way to enter. Meanwhile, back on the job, I have to deal with facts. And just this past week, I was visiting a longtime client, a radio station I've been working with for, I think, 11 years now. Wow. And it's a small town radio where you and I first started, your first radio job. And there, each of us had some Lou Grant type character, gruff, yes, tough but fair. And that's who I am to a lot of these fledgling newscasters who were on their first job out of school. And they're very textbook oriented as opposed to thinking about the listener. They will write news copy that is factually correct. But I don't hear a lot of you and your. In other words, they detail the process, but often obscure the consequence. And in this particular situation, there are two huge consequential stories that are going to be unfolding over the next several years and will rock listeners' lives in that area and will give us months and months of material. And the two stories are two municipalities are merging into one in January. And the other story is Penn State is closing the satellite campus in that market. And what the TV stations enjoy that the standalone single newscaster in a radio station is denied is the editorial meeting we used to have when you and I worked together, where we plan the day's news coverage. And what ChatGPT affords us is a virtual editorial meeting. You have someone to talk to. It happens to be a robot. But what we are impressed by is how human-like that interaction is. So I want to read to you the two prompts that I gave ChatGPT.
Yes, please
and
do.
I've sent you the actual output document. But the first question I asked was, the municipalities of Du Bois, Pennsylvania and Sandy Township, Pennsylvania will consolidate in January. What aspects of this impending change, which are consequential to residents, should local media cover? And the prompt for the second story is, Penn State Du Bois is a Commonwealth campus that is scheduled to close in spring 2027. What are the implications local news media should cover as this date approaches? And what came back is longer than the output document that I provided the client and have copied you, and which you may share with your viewers. But it is a step-by-step checklist, a timeline, suggesting interview topics and subjects, and it's just a roadmap to relevance. So AI is rescuing radio from itself in that case, because we are so starving for manpower that the artificial manpower is helping us fill in the blanks. So I started out with fiction, writing the beach books, the novellas. I've moved to fact, and now fiction and fact meet, because during this same visit to the radio station earlier this week, the station owner asked me for help with sales. And one of the big ways I help radio stations is supporting advertiser sales. I write and produce and voice commercials. I've done thousands for decades. And I love going out on sales calls with the reps because the entrepreneurs, the retailers on Main Street USA who are fueling the American economy have such a feel for the public vibe. They know how people are feeling these days. So I love meeting these people, and I'm glad to help. And my client says, can you make something for me to pitch to a local credit union? Credit union. Now, what's the story that's blocking out the sun these days? Cost of living. Despite what we're hearing from the administration, there aren't 3 states where gas is $1.98. Every trip to the supermarket is a challenge. The Costco is jammed on weekends. So smell the coffee. And I offered to assemble a series of 60-second vignettes, short form features that are money-saving tips that they could enable the credit union to sponsor on air. You know, if you want people to understand that you can help them, help them. So this is an opportune content piece for a sponsor that is in the financial arena. But there are hundreds, if not thousands, if not millions of podcasters out there already doing money-saving tips. So we needed a wrinkle. We needed a way to sugarcoat this, a way to seem conspicuous, a way to stand out. So we created a character. And I went into ChatGPT and explained why we're doing what we're doing. And it came back with a couple of dozen suggestions. And the character that I'm going to be, we're calling the Deal Detective. And he's tracking down clues to help you save money. And
This
The
wouldn't be
deal
you,
detective, of
would
course,
it?
has to have, yeah, the deal detective has to have a face. So I went over to Microsoft Copilot, again, the free version,
Hmm.
and I said, give me Humphrey Bogart, Mickey Spillane, the fedora, the trench coat, give me the gumshoe. And he's the deal detective. And I won't even show you the first version because it was too hard boiled. But I've sent you the second version.
Hmm.
And number two, I said, make him smile. So he smiled. The third version I've sent you, I uploaded a picture of myself and I said, make him this guy. And that next version came back a little cartoon like. So the final version that I've sent you, which I hope you'll share, I
Hmm.
said, make him more lifelike, less cartoon like, make him 10 years younger, and make his badge glisten a little.
Hmm.
And in the deal detective title, I said, make the letters a little brighter and put a little subtle drop shadow on it. Make it look like a movie poster from an old detective flick. And that's the final version that we came back with. So I'm walking the walk, but it's a self-guided tour. And these AI tools are not just free, but they're friendly. They will help you along the way. And as I say, the two documents I've sent you about planning our news coverage
Hmm.
for the municipal consolidation and the campus closure all came with a plan, and they kept prompting us, would you like a
Hmm.
list? Would you
Yes.
like a
Yes. That's
timeline?
one of the things I like
Would you
best
like,
about it.
yeah. So, they play the game. And I think that this is not just opportune for people in the media, but in any walk of life, when you're staring at a blank page, when you're staring at an important task and you're feeling all alone and you're absolutely broke, viva AI.
But now here's an important point, and you've kind of touched on this, whether you knew it or not. You are still in charge. You and the radio stations you serve and the ChatGPT is not the one driving the bus. They are your very talented and very eager assistant.
Yes, they are Robin to your Batman.
Yes.
And and as regards the news thing, the childproof cap on my recommendations is fact check everything that comes out,
Hmm. Hmm.
because Chat GPT and these other tools are merely scraping the internet, which is not itself fact checked. So if you are in the news side of the radio station,
Hmm.
fact check all the facts. And if you are using AI to write a commercial, for instance, it's the first draft, but you yourself will personalize the commercial. I'm a bit of an influencer in radio, and there are a number of vendors offering to sell radio stations apps that will write a commercial. So these vendors will often hit on me to review their app and use me as a reference to radio stations. And they say, give us a business and we'll write a commercial for you. And I give them a restaurant in the town where we live, and my wife and I dine often. And what comes back is so generic.
Hmm.
It's a relaxing atmosphere.
Hmm.
It doesn't really capture the essence that a diner could, but it offers a structure. There's a beginning, a middle, and end, and you can replace a lot of the plain vanilla verbiage with things that only a repeat diner would know. You can infuse it with what keeps you coming back for more. So you're absolutely right. AI is Robin. You're still Batman.
Now, here's something else that I hear from a lot of folks our age is that if you use ChatGPT or Copilot or whatever, it's cheating somehow because you didn't come up with that idea. You didn't write that. Somebody else, a computer machine did that, and all you did was kind of touch it up a little bit. And that's I think kind of a common hesitation point for a lot of us older folks is that it just, when we were brought, we couldn't even use calculators in school because that was cheating. And now
Remember,
here we're having a machine do something for us. Is it cheating?
it's a more efficient way to do what we've done all along. In high school, we had a term paper. We go to the library on the weekend and copy things by hand out of books.
Hmm.
So we've accelerated an existing process. The pandemic gave us a lot of heartache and loss, but there were some pandemic dividends, accelerating trends already in motion, e-commerce, et cetera. And Chat GPT and Copilot and all these other tools are accelerating processes we did before, but making them faster and more efficient. All the world's knowledge is out there, and to be able to scrape that in a more efficient way than our teenage selves with the 3x5 cards in the library, I think is a gift. But you have to be, if anything, more wary to fact check. We could trust what was in the library, but it's a good trade-off to be as careful as that, given the efficiency of AI. So it is what it is, and I'm glad that it is.
Have you found, as I have, that using AI has helped you actually stimulated your own creativity and has made you think of things? Maybe ChatGPT didn't explicitly suggest something, but it clicked on something in your brain, thought, that's a good idea.
Yeah, absolutely. Stephen Colbert does not write his hilarious monologue alone. He's got 7 people in a room with him. And this is the other 6 people you don't have in the room with you. Because you and I met as radio people. We are a breed, a species that thinks aloud. We riff. Mm-hmm. And how many times have you and I been working on something and we said, oh, write that down. Mm-hmm. But, we think aloud. And this is a chance, even if you are not as verbal as radio people tend to be, this is a chance for you to have that collaboration.
Do you meet, as I meet, a lot of folks our age, because we're both seasoned, and they say, oh, I've heard of AI. I don't understand it. It's too complicated. Don't bother me with that.
It's less complicated than getting the VCR to stop flashing 12. It's got a very human-like interface, and I'm flattered, by the way, to be on AI over 40, because here's AI over 70. But you're going to fall behind unless you jump on board, I think.
And that is, I find, again, talking with my peers, that is a fear that, hey, I'd love to jump into AI, but I don't understand it. I'm too old. I'm never going to be able to catch up, and I might as well just let the young kids do this.
Well, that's retirement, but I'm still in the game.
I don't think retirement is a word you're familiar with.
Well, I'm stepping off the fast track slowly. I got choosy in my old age. I started consulting full-time on January 1, 1995.
Wow.
When you and I were suddenly free agents.
Yes.
And back then, client was defined as anybody whose check didn't bounce. Back to the Future. I only deal with cool kids. I only do the work that I enjoy doing with the people I enjoy doing it with. And I don't have to work as much as I used to. So this AI is a gift to me.
And listen, before we close, tell me some more about the fiction that you've written, because you write. You didn't start with just that one project that you did. You're writing more fiction.
Yeah, the first novella is called Kill the Feed, and it's set locally in the local TV news rat race, where sinister forces are manipulating the news for the benefit of dark influencers. And we see this play out on the local TV screen. And I had so much fun doing this that I wrote a sequel featuring many of the same characters. And that got enough laughs that I did a 3rd version. So you want to start with volume 1, and I've sent you the link that you can share with your viewers. You want to start with the first story, because 1 leads to 2, leads to 3. And as I was writing this, my wife was laughing because I was chuckling as I wrote it. And I would say to ChatGPT, now in this chapter, here's what's going to happen. And it would come and suggest twists and turns. But the words are mine. It's just a collaborator. So I hope you enjoy my stories, but even if you don't, you will see the potential for whatever it is you're trying to fashion.
Listen, this has been fascinating, and I want to have you back at some point to talk some more about AI after 40. Holland Cooke, thank you so much for being our guest today.
I miss you, pal.
AI after 40 is all about us older folks helping each other navigate this new world of artificial intelligence and how to use it in new and creative and fun and imaginative and very useful ways. So if you found today's episode useful, helpful, encouraging, leave a comment below, send us a note, be sure and subscribe, share this with your friends, and of course, if you have a success story you'd like to share with us, let me know. I'd love to have you on a future episode. So until next time, I'm Bill Thompson. Thanks for watching.